Let's bring in Republican strategist Luke Ball and former Trump campaign National Coalitions Director Ashley Hayek. It's great to have both of you on. We're kind of moving on to politics now. I want to play some sound here, Ashley, and get your take on this. This is the president on the South Lawn today talking about Judge Boasberg, who, of course, is trying to keep these Tren de Aragua members in the country. Watch.
We want everything, and a big part of that was exactly this, getting bad people that shouldn't have been allowed into our country. Biden allowed them in. What they should be asking, this judge, this radical left judge, he should be saying, why did Biden allow these criminals in our country?
I mean, actually, it's a fair question, because allowing them in is not legal. You know, deporting them is legal.
Well, that's exactly right. And this judge actually wanted to stop a plane that was carrying illegal criminals back to their home country and bring them back into the United States. That's insanity. That's absolutely crazy. And President Trump is trying to protect the American people, get these illegal alien criminals back to their home country, get them out of our country, prevent them from committing horrendous crimes against the American people. This judge is proven to be an activist judge trying to stop the president's actions. And furthermore, it's come out that his wife is a big Democrat donor as well. Well,
yeah, there's a lot of forum shopping, a lot of judge shopping been going on in recent years. Meantime, Minneapolis mayor bragging about protecting illegal immigrants said the following here, Luke.
Minneapolis will continue to be a safe haven for undocumented immigrants. Regardless of who you are or where you come from, Minneapolis is a place where you should be proud to call home.
I mean, look, they just won't acknowledge the danger that they could be putting their citizens, their residents in. And it goes to this city after city that is seeing some bad outcomes from this stuff.
Trace, the Democrats are standing up for the criminal cartels, for the drug lords, for the convicted criminals, and that might build you a constituency at Alcatraz, but it's not going to work in a lot of these swing districts across the country. And to that point about the Minneapolis individual right there, the Democrats have a demonstrated problem with not calling out violent rhetoric or supporting violent rhetoric. I mean, Minneapolis is still smoldering from the Summer of Love and the BLM riots in 2020. You also see Democrats out there like Maxine Waters saying that if you see Trump cabinet officials create a crowd around them and let them know they're not welcome. Yep. Joe Biden saying he wanted to take Trump out behind the high school gymnasium and beat him up. So there's a demonstrated pattern here. That is not the mantra of a successful political party. That's the mantra of a dying political party.
Yeah. Meantime, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wants her party to fight harder. They want to resist Trump more. Senator John Fetterman said the following quote on X, "Fight harder. A stunt that would have harmed millions and plunged us into chaos." He means closing the government. "We kept our government open. Deal with it." I mean, the Dems are no longer about right and wrong, Ashley. They're about Trump resistance pretty much exclusively now.
Well, they completely lost everything on November 5th. And rather than trying to figure out who they want to represent, maybe perhaps the American people, they're just doubling down on this anti-Trump rhetoric that is winning them absolutely nothing. We just spoke about Minnesota. Minnesota went in the direction over 3 points for President Trump. All of these blue states are moving towards the direction of red. Look at New Jersey. You have a governor's race this year that's actually in play for the conservatives, for the America First movement. And it's because they don't know who they are and what they represent other than crime, criminals, cartels, and anti-Trump rhetoric.
Meantime, the New York Times headline reads the following: Pentagon set up briefing for Musk on potential war with China. Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, came out and cleared that up a little bit. Watch.
We welcomed him today to the Pentagon to talk about DOGE, to talk about efficiencies, to talk about innovations. It was a great informal conversation. The rest of that reporting was fake. There was no war plans. There was no Chinese war plans. There was no secret plans. That's not what we were doing at the Pentagon.
I mean, Luke, the lies just keep coming, man. The factually incorrect reporting just keeps going.
You'd have to think it's purposeful at this point. And what's interesting is that the left loves to say that nobody elected Elon Musk. They overlook the fact that a duly elected president of the United States promised for months on the campaign trail that if he were elected, he would sic Elon Musk loose on the federal government to expose the waste, fraud, and abuse. I would submit to our friends on the left that nobody elected these judges that are throwing cog after cog in the wheel against the Trump administration across the nation. Important to note, in the 20th century, there were like 27 total federal nationwide injunctions injunctions against the
Yep.
presidency. And in Trump's first term, 64 of those and 92% of the judges were Democrat judges. You have to wonder, is there political
go.
play going on here?
Luke Ball, Ashley Hayek, thank you both. Back with the Nightcap crew, Kevin Cork, Luke Ball, Pastor Robert Jeffress, Sophia Laurie, Ryan Walters, and Julie Hamill. Tonight's topic, bend the knee. Maine public universities caving to President Trump, no longer allowing men to compete in women's sports. What do you think? Is money more important than their values, or were their progressive values all a facade to begin with, Superintendent Walters?
Oh, I think they're radical Marxists, but I think they're bullies. And I think President Trump stood up to the bullies. They backed down. President Trump, with the American people behind him, it's unstoppable. And this is what it looks like to be winning.
Yeah. Pastor Jeffress, what do you think about this?
Look, the Bible says they exchanged the truth of God for a lie. They embrace a lie about gender until it costs them something, then they run.
Kevin Cork.
Money, money, money. That's all I need to say, brother. You know what time it is.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Sophia Laurie, your thoughts on this?
It's all about the money. They have no values. If they had any values, they would have put an end to this because men don't belong in women's sports. It's common sense.
Yeah. Luke Ball.
The left thinks that any problem known to mankind can be solved with either more education and more government, and the federal funding of these institutions is the unholy alliance of those two things. So when you start to peel back the layers, follow the money and you'll find the motive.